So my name's Travis Price. I'm 30 years old now. I'm in a province in Canada called Nova Scotia, on the far east coast, so Atlantic Ocean. I live in like a really small rural community. There's like it's like a string of valleys or a string of towns, sorry, in like this valley. So yeah, so my life, I was first bullied when I was in grade one, and it started with something like that was like so silly, but it just like stuck with me. Some kid was like obsessed with like people's initials, like of their names, and so like there was one dude, and his initials were AA, and so he called him Awesome Andy. And I was like, oh man, like that's a sweet nickname. Like I want that nickname. Like do me next, do me next. So I like rushed to the front of the line to try to like get this kid to give me a nickname. And so when I get up there, he's like, okay, like, what are your initials? And I'm like, TP. And he's like, ha ha, toilet paper. And then like everybody laughed. And that was my nickname through like all of my public school life. I was just known as toilet paper. It was something that I remember that moment so vividly. Like I remember like it was yesterday. Because I think it affected me so much. And bullying ended up changing my life so much because it never really got better. It just continuously progressed. It went from just name calling, maybe calling something, me being called something as simple as toilet paper, to worse names, to homophobic names, to me getting beat up in the classrooms, to me going home with black eyes and bloody noses. And at which point I started saying, like, why is this happening to me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? I'm trying to treat others with respect and kindness, and yet these guys and girls are choosing to use this negative behavior, which is bullying, to kind of make my life miserable. And so that was my life for 11 years of my public school life. It started in grade one and went all the way through to grade 12. And then grade 12, my life kind of changed forever. I go to school. I'm standing in love with my best friend, David Shepard. We call him DJ. And we're talking about how awesome this year will be. We're going to get to graduate. We'll get to go to prom and dance and do all these awesome things. And a grade nine kid brand new to our school walks through the door and immediately is bullied for simply wearing, a pink shirt. And I just remember looking at this kid and just understanding what he was going through, knowing that feeling and thinking about how alone he probably felt, and how for so long we just did nothing about bullying. Like we would just let this stuff happen. And I thought this was an opportunity that we could help this kid, just this kid, that maybe we could welcome him into our friend group and show him that he's not alone. And so we went home that night and we said, like, how can we really help this kid? And we thought, what if we wore pink? What if we got other people to try to wear pink too, just to show him that he's welcome at our school, that he can be who he wants to be, and he's safe. He's safe in this environment. And so we went on Facebook, made a post, went out that night, bought everything that we could find that was pink. But the only thing we could find for shirts was 75 pink women's tank tops. Okay, they were so tight on us. Okay, but we made it work. Okay, we looked good. Okay, and we just were hoping that somebody else would do it, I guess, to show him that this was okay, that it was fine for guys to wear pink shirts, that he shouldn't be bullied for something like this, and that there would be somebody that would have his back. And when we showed up to school the next day, I remember the first bus rolls up and there was like 10 people that got off the bus wearing pink. And me and DJ were like, oh my, like people are like, they knew this was happening. Like they want to help us. They want to support this kid. And we were throwing out shirts to people. And by the time the last bus got there, we had about 850 people in our school of 1,000 kids wearing some kind of pink. It was incredible. It really changed my life because it showed me the power of one and two people. It showed me that all these years, maybe I should have been standing up for myself. Maybe I should have, looked to people to do this to me before. Maybe I had the power to do this earlier. Maybe I could have made a difference in other people's lives sooner than this. Um, that was 13 years ago. It's been a long journey for me. I've kind of became this advocate for people that feel they have lost their voice. I've kind of became the champion of this issue around the world, to try to step up and make a difference for people, for people like you guys, so that no kid ever has to go through the things that I went through and that my family went through.
How does it feel to have like such a successful day?
It's just so crazy to see how far this has spread. But I always attribute that to the youth, to kids that needed it. The first international expansion we had was Ireland, and it was a 16-year-old girl. that was being bullied and wanted to bring change, because she knew what it was like to be bullied, and she heard the story and thought, what better way to unite youth than use youth, than to unite youth? And something as simple as putting on a pink shirt, is an easy way of doing that. And so, yeah, I think it's so cool what this has really turned into. Yeah, like when I saw that kid, I think I had like a bunch of emotions, I guess. The first one being, yeah, I was kind of like nervous for him. I didn't want him to get beat up on his first day of high school. Like I thought that would have been a miserable way to start, those years of your life. Um, but then I also had the emotion of I knew what he was going through. So I had that feeling of, depression and loneliness and everything kind of going through me, knowing what he was in that moment. And having all these kids walk by him and do nothing, I knew what that was like. I've had that for so long. And, right. So it was like such a confusing, like, go around in my head, to try to like manage those emotions of, oh, he's being bullied, I should just walk away, I don't want to get bullied too. To, yes, but like I'm grade 12 now, I have this like unspoken power being like a senior in the school. Maybe I could make a difference for him because I know what he's going through. Like I could help him because I know that feeling. And the weird thing about it was, like, lots of guys wore pink shirts at our school. Like that wasn't like a oddity. But it was just because he was new, this group of bullies was bored. They just decided to target him because of it. Just that setting, just that scenario. And it was just a bad scenario for that kid that we were able to make better. But yeah, I think back to that kid often, and I still get that feeling because I see it in you guys every day. The messages I get, the people I'm trying to help, I see that kid in them every day. And I'm feel the exact same way, but then I get that feeling of kind of, I know I can help this person. I know I have the ability and the strength now, without question, to make a difference in this person's life, to make them know that they deserve to be here on this earth. And I think that that's a great feeling to have, and a great feeling to be able to deliver to individuals so that they get that as well. Some of them put on pink shirts. Some of them realized what they were doing was wrong, and they didn't want to be on the outside. They kind of said, "Oh, I was doing it because this person did it, or I thought it was cool," and that's often what bullying can be. Like that initial reaction, right? It's often just a mistake. We always say here that bullying is just a behavior, and behaviors can change. But if I say, you're all bullies, that means that's who you are, and there's never a chance that you can change. It's just who you are. You're defined as that. And so we just say people use bullying behavior, and that's what these kids were doing. Some of them changed. Now, unfortunately, some of them didn't want to. Some of them liked that we like called them out, if you will. Some of them wanted that attention. Some of them, continued to try to, at that point, make fun of me and DJ, which was fine because it took away the attention from this grade 9 boy who maybe didn't know how to handle it, to us who did, because we had gone through it for so long. We knew what teachers to go through to get help. We knew who to talk to. We also knew that there was a bunch of people that probably had our back if something was to happen, that there was a group of kids that would look out for us too. We kind of changed the culture within the school that we all had each other's back, that was our new game plan, that bullying would happen again. It wouldn't like, shut it down completely, but it wouldn't go on for days and days at a time, that we would step up and address it right away so that a kid wouldn't have to go all recess, all lunch being the bullied kid. And we would have that ability to make that impact. So I feel bad for the kids that didn't change. Discuss the issue. Talk about how bullying affects us. Give examples of it happening to you. For most people out there, you ask them like, "Oh, have you ever been bullied?" They're like, "Oh, not really. Like, I got some people that tease me, and some people say some stuff about me online, but it's not really." And it's like, yes, that's bullying, and it's important that we let them know that it's okay that that's happened to them, but you're there for them, right? That you can be those people that are there for them. So we create these things here called the Beyond the Hurt teams in Canada, which they're the bullying experts in the school. So when somebody has an issue, they know they can go to them. But on Pink Shirt Days, they're also the people that are organizing it to go out and make sure people know there's always a place for them to go and talk about the bullying that's happening to them. So inform those people you're there. Let them know that you're there to help. Let them know that you have the tools and everything necessary to help them, to help get them help even, can mean the world. And remember that nobody's too cool for this, right? It doesn't matter. The most popular people in the world have been bullied, right? It's not always that kid that kind of sits in the back of the classroom and we view them as being the bullied kid just because they're quiet and they're a little bit different. We can all be affected by this. So it's so important we reach out to everybody. You're the ones now that have that ability to make a difference in somebody's life. Like, it's up to you guys. I'm 30 years old now. I'm not even there, and all it is my message. So if my message can help inspire you to be able to say, you know what, I can do what Travis did, then job done, right? And that's the thing about it, is that's exactly what you guys have. You have that ability to be someone's hero, just like I was able to be. It doesn't have to be a pink shirt. It can be an action. It can be green underwear day. I don't care. As long as we stand up for one another and make a difference for one another, that's the world that I want to live in. That's the world I want you guys to be able to grow up in. Thanks, guys. See you.
Yeah.